Engender is Scotland's feminist membership organisation. We asked Scotland's major political parties what they would do for women's equality in Scotland.
Hi, I'm Kezia Dugdale. I'm the leader of the Scottish Labour Party, and I'm sitting in the car on the campaign trail with Mandy Telford, who is going to ask some questions on behalf of Engender's members.
Engender's manifesto for Holyrood 2016 calls for a range of measures to advance gender equality in Scotland. What concrete policy measures would you introduce over the next Parliament to advance gender equality?
Well, I believe that Scottish Labour's manifesto is the boldest of all the parties' manifestos when it comes to dealing with gender inequality. And first and foremost, we know that cuts disproportionately affect women because they are more reliant on public services. So we've got a pledge to stop the cuts and protect public services, and that will help protect the vital services that so many women rely on. And we've also said that we're making a specific pledge to establish a Cabinet Secretary for Gender Equality to make sure that at all times there is a minister to bring the issues of gender equality to the table. And thirdly, you might expect me to say this, we're making a cast iron guarantee that we'll legislate for a 50-50 mix on public boards and a 50-50 Parliament.
Okay, next question. There are opportunities to improve women's social security with new powers coming to the Scottish Parliament. One specific issue which women in Scotland are concerned about is equal access to universal credit. Will you support individual payments of universal credit as the standard payment structure?
Well, the answer to that is yes. Labour first paid child benefit to mothers and ended the Victorian practice of household payments going only to men in the household. We did this not only because it was just wrong, but it was dangerous for many women who needed their own income stream. So we'll use the powers to create a new Scottish social security agency based on the principles of dignity and respect, not cuff and punitive sanctions. But we'll also ensure that it undertakes its work following a sort of rights-based, person-centred, flexible and responsive approach, and this includes reintroducing individual payments. Of course it does.
Significant investment in both social care and childcare is needed if parties' commitments to gender equality are to be met. How would you pay for this investment in care?
Well, we've set out a bold plan at this election that independent experts have estimated will raise around £1.2 billion of extra revenue every year. And that's because we're taking the decision to use the powers of the Scottish Parliament so that we don't need to pass on more Tory cuts. Now, it's my view that a lot of other parties at this election are making bold claims about what they will do, but none of them can match that with a plan of how they will pay for them all. And that's what Labour's got, a plan to raise the money that we need to stop the cuts.
Abortion law is also being devolved. Women in Scotland can still be prosecuted for having an abortion. Would you support decriminalising abortion?
So I believe fundamentally in a woman's right to choose, and I believe in equal access irrespective of where you live. So the Scottish Labour Party, with that in mind, has no plans to change the law on abortion.
And finally, who is your feminist icon?
So I've thought a wee bit about this, and there's lots of amazing women that have served in my party and done tremendous things for women across the Labour movement. But if I had to pick one feminist icon, it would be Mary Barber, and not least because we need to redouble our efforts to recognise women's role in history and reflect it in statues and how we remember the cultural heritage of Scotland. So Mary Barber is my feminist icon, and I support the campaign to make sure that what she achieved in her lifetime is recognised formally now. Cheerio.
To find out more about why gender matters in the Scottish Parliament elections, visit holyrood.engender.org.uk.